Okay, the story I'm going to be telling today is a Native American folktale called Attack of the Mammoth. My name is Patrick Hennessy. Okay, so there was a man and his family, and they lived in a forest. They never were in one place for very long because the man didn't like to settle down. The woman grew very tired of this, and she wished that one day they would find a nice village and settle down. One day, they were camped by a lake for a short time, and the woman was out netting beavers. As she was netting beavers, she stopped because she heard something treading behind her in the snow. She froze and looked behind her to see what it was, and she saw a giant mammoth. As soon as she saw the mammoth, it began to attack. She ran away as fast and as soon as she can. She barely was able to get away with her life and her baby. Unfortunately, the mammoth got all of the beaver meat. She came back and immediately told her husband. Her husband accused her of giving the meat to some attractive man that she had met. But he really thought that she had just tipped the sled over in some icy river, because everybody knew there were no more mammoths. They had all been killed. So that night, the husband falls asleep, super easy and quick, while the woman lays awake restless. Around midnight, when the woman's about half asleep, she hears something. It's a mammoth again. She tries to wake up her husband by shaking him, but he wakes up and he's very mad at her, and it just says that she was dreaming, and if she was really that scared, she could just leave. And then she leaves, and all of a sudden she hears her husband scream like, "Ah!" And then it's silent. She knows her husband is dead. She begins to run to the next village, which is really far away. And all the while, she hears the mammoth treading in the snow behind her and crying, trying to get her because it's very hungry. When she arrives at the next village, the people are really scared of the mammoth. So they live on an island. So they poke a whole bunch of holes in the ice. So when the mammoth comes, it'll go right through the ice into the frozen river and drown. And then, so that next day, the mammoth comes, and then it falls through the ice just like the people thought, but unexpectedly, it used its tusks to just break the ice away, and it's able to get onto land. Once it gets on land, everybody starts freaking out. The widow and her baby run off as fast as they can, and she urges everyone to come with her, but a lot of people are just paralyzed in fear. So there's this boy that lives in a tent with his grandma, and he hears all the screaming and comes out to see what it's all about. As soon as he comes out, he sees a giant mammoth. Little did anybody know that this boy had a pair of magic trousers and magic arrows that could kill any living creature that existed. He tells his grandmother to go fetch his trousers and his magic arrows. He has this giant moose bladder that keeps his hair in, and he shakes it as hard as he can until the moose bladder pops and all of his hair falls down to his waist. This boy was also shunned by the village, so nobody expected this at all. Nobody knew that he had magic powers except for his grandmother. So eventually his grandmother gets his magic trousers and his magic arrows, and he begins to shoot the mammoth from every single angle. But this just angers the mammoth, and he starts to try to attack the boy and kill him. But the boy is too powerful and has too much magic, so he is able to kill the elephant. The widow soon returns with her baby. Eventually the tribe accepts her, and she marries a husband, a warrior that's in that tribe. And from that day on, he was actually shaman. The kid was a shaman, and they named him chief of their village. And from that day on, every village has a chief to lead them, and they haven't had any problems with mammoths since. And that is my story.